So here, this is also a really, really important scene. It also adds a lot more tension physically as well. The Black Riders are chasing the four hobbits here to Buckleberry Ferry, I think. And instead, in the book, it's just the three of them again, Frodo, Sam, along with Pippin, and they see one of the Black Riders standing next to the horse on the bank. And this is before they even get to Farmer Maggot's farm. And then Farmer Maggot takes them to the ferry, and then they meet up with Merry. And so this is a lot more dramatic, more tension, and makes it a little bit scarier and just keeps you on edge. So this is one of my biggest quibbles with the films. There's no Tom Bombadil. I love Tom Bombadil. I really wanted to see him with Goldberry, with the feast, and just, I think there's something to seeing Bombadil as the first, and him having no effect from the ring itself. And it just gives you a sense of how different he is. And I get why Jackson didn't include him, because he's an odd character. The lore around him is so deep, and it would be really hard to, I think, express him really, really well and to keep the story on film coherent. But I would have loved to have seen Bombadil, Goldberry together, and then the Barrow Downs. I really wanted to see the Bombadil's power over the Barrow Downs and the Barrow Wights. I think that would have been a lot of fun and a great, great scene. And I was always intrigued by the character of Tom Bombadil. What is he exactly? And I would love to learn more about him. So I think it's a lost opportunity there, but at the same time, to keep the story going along and the pacing, it made sense to leave Bombadil out. So they're going to Bree and the Prancing Pony, and I think this is a lot of fun. Peter Jackson makes a cameo here as well. You'll notice his character, just one of the NPCs essentially in the story. But the hobbits get here and it's raining. In the book, it's not raining. It makes it, again, a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more pressing, especially after the ferry scene and being chased by the riders. So I get why they did this, but in the book, it's not raining at the time. So it's still, in fact, Merry himself goes out for a stroll in the evening and then encounters the riders again. So this is a pretty important deviation from the book that I think is a mistake. I really enjoy Butterbur's character and kind of his buffoonery and his friendship with Gandalf as well. But in the film, he barely even knows who Gandalf is, and he doesn't give him the letter. This letter is so critical because it comes from Gandalf and it tells him to trust Strider. So it's really critical to, I think, character building, and it shows the friendship and the trust between Gandalf and Strider, which is important. So I think this is also a lost opportunity. I get that it would have been a lot more exposition and stuff like that, but I would have loved to have actually seen Butterbur interact more with the hobbits and to also give them the letter itself from Gandalf.
That fellow's done nothing but stare at you since we arrived.
Excuse me. That man in the corner. Who is he?
He's one of them rangers. Dangerous folk they are, wandering in the wild. What his right name is, I've never heard, but round here, he's known as Strider.
Strider.
This is also, I think, a significant symbolic change. In the novels, Strider always has the shards of Narsil, the broken Isildur sword, on him at all times, and even pulls out the broken sword, which helps identify him as Strider again, reference from that letter that Gandalf gives him, or gives Butterbur to pass on to the hobbits in the novel. This doesn't happen in the film. He has some random sword, I have no idea what it is, so it's not even referenced here at this point. It will be referenced later on in Rivendell, but really in the book, it's so important, the symbolism of the shards of Narsil. So I think that would have also given a lot more backstory to his claim to be the king. So here Sam is threatening to attack and fight Strider. In the book, he never threatens to fight him, but he greatly mistrusts him. And that's also really important, I think, as part of that character building and the relationship dynamics, because of course Sam will have no misgivings by the end of the story. But here, that's never really the case, and it's just a way to show Sam's loyalty to Frodo, of course, his protection, and also it skips over some of those elements themselves. Also, they skip over the scene of Merry going for a walk and then passing out or feeling this breath fall over him and knocking him out. And of course, I think it's Nob who goes and finds him eventually and brings him back to the inn. And it shows how dangerous the Nazgul are. And that would have been actually kind of fun to see, but they skip over. So I really enjoy this scene. I think it's really well done visually with the tension and the cuts and the edits and the soundtrack as well. I really enjoy it. I have loved it since the animated version by, is it Bashki? And this stays really, really similar and faithful to that adaptation, I think. I wonder if Jackson watched it before doing it. Of course, in the novel itself, they only learn the aftermath of what happened, but I think visually this represents it really well. And of course, it kind of tricks us, especially those who might not have read the book, into thinking that the